Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the second episode of the Chaos Theory Quick Start Guide. So, in this episode, we're going to be going over some of the core mechanics of the game. So, let's get right into it. So, first of all, let's talk about Spark tokens. Spark tokens are a quantifiable entity that is held by orgs and characters. How you're actually going to interact with Spark tokens as a player is that they're going to be, if you're playing in person, physical tokens like poker chips or something similar to that. If you're playing online, you can keep track of them on your character sheet, and your character can earn, pay, and trade Spark tokens. Earning a Spark token means that you're taking one from your org, whereas paying a Spark token means you give a token back to your org. So ultimately, you can think of your org like the bank for Spark tokens. That's where they're initially held, and that's where you're making withdrawals and deposits. Moves are simply rules governing what your character does during gameplay. Most moves involve Spark tokens. So let's go through those moves now. One of the most important moves in the game is going to be Challenge. This happens when you perform a difficult action with significant consequences for failure. And the director will declare a challenge if they see an opportunity for, maybe an interesting way that a compromise could be made in the game, or just in a really tense, high stakes situation. That's when you're usually going to see this. And in a challenge, the player needs to pay one Spark token to fully succeed in their action and get entirely what they want, or they can choose to not pay a Spark token, and then they're going to have to compromise. So that means they're going to get a partial success, means there's some complication, something doesn't work out quite the way they wanted, but they still get to actually do what they wanted to do in the first place. It's just going to make their life harder to do it. Next, we have Invoke. Invoke, simply put, is when another player has a fun idea for how your character could screw up. It's generally going to be something a little bit fun, but it could be a little bit more dramatic in some situations. And how this is going to work is your character can earn one Spark token if you decide to go along with the suggestion that the other player has, or you can choose to not go along with the idea and you just don't get a Spark token. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to go along with it or not. There's really no pressure. It's just a way to earn Spark tokens. So next, we're going to get into the moves that utilize your power channels. So the first one is drawing a vector. This is all about allure. When you gain social leverage on another character, that's how vectors actually manifest in the story. It's your character having something that they can hold over another character, or alternatively, just having something that another character wants or even just admires about your character. These are all ways to influence other characters around you, and that's what drawing vectors is all about. In order to draw a vector on someone else, your character must have a higher allure value than the target. So you're going to mark the difference on both character sheets. You will mark the positive difference and they will mark the negative difference. That's how you know which way the influence is flowing. So the initiator can offer spark tokens to a target up to their allure in order to have the target go along with their plans in the moment. So again, this is optional. The target does not have to go along with it, but it is a way to earn Spark tokens. And you need Spark tokens to do a lot of things in the game, so it's a pretty good offer. Uh, Also, anything that the target does to oppose the initiator becomes a challenge, which is governed by the challenge rules. So that means that in order to have things your way, you're going to have to pay up or compromise. So when the vector is equal to zero, the effects stop. This happens when spark tokens are exchanged. So if the initiator offers spark tokens to the target and the target accepts, then the difference of the vector or the value of the vector approaches 0 by that many integers. And when the vector is equal to 0, the effects stop. And you can only draw a vector once per character per episode, so you can't do this to someone more than once during an episode, just to keep things a little bit more balanced. So a contest is when you engage in a contest of skill. So you are comparing who is more talented or skilled in a particular area. You're not doing this for a combat situation because there are other rules for that. So this is a non-violent situation. So how a contest works is that anyone who's involved in the contest, you're going to compare their relevant skill values. So you pick any skill that is relevant. It doesn't have to be the same as what the other characters are using. As long as the director says, yes, that is relevant, you can use it, you're good to go. So whoever has the highest skill value is currently in the lead, but characters who are following, which just means that they're not in the lead currently, they can spend spark tokens up to their negotiation value to take the lead. And then from there, whoever is following at that point can spend spark tokens up to their negotiation value to try and take the lead. And this just continues until there is a winner. So it's a bit of a game of chicken because spark tokens are valuable. You don't necessarily want to spend all of them. So it's kind of like, how much is this situation worth to you? That's what we're trying to figure out. It also matters just how many spark tokens you have to spare at the moment. That's why they're really important to earn on a regular basis during gameplay. So the winner of the contest gets what they want. They achieve the outcome that they desired. In the case of a tie, a compromise is made. So you can decide, you know what, we actually did equally well, so we're just going to share the spoils, or maybe we neither really get what we want, or we get some of what we want. That's what you're going to have to figure out. So that's it for this video. And in the next video, we're going to be going over the moves that are related to combat, as there are a few of those. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.